Hello again, and thank you for staying with us. We continue here. The question of whether the South African Communist Party poses a threat to the ANC's prospects in the 2026 local government elections is a critical one, reflecting the deepening fractures in the tripartite alliance. For decades, the SACP has served as the ANC's staunchest ideological and campaigning partner, mobilizing its ground forces to bolster the ANC's electoral dominance. However, growing discontent over the ANC's perceived failure to address corruption, implement progressive policies, and stop the decline in public services has led to increasingly vocal calls within the SACP's ranks for a break from the alliance and an independent electoral run. Let's unpack this issue with political analyst Dr. Ntsikelelo Breakfast. Dr. Breakfast, good to have you on the show this evening. Thabo Mbeki, your former president Thabo Mbeki, has recently warned of potential confrontation between the ANC and the SACP. That's if the latter contests the 2026 local government elections. Do you agree with Mbeki's assessment of the possible consequences? Why or why not?
Well, first of all, it's quite interesting that of all people, former President Mbeki is the one that is firing the warning shot, given the fact that he is still blamed in some quarters within the tripartite alliance for, the fallout between these two political parties. There was an accusation against him that during his tenure, he did not consult the alliance partners. But anyway, fast forward, I think he is on point. I don't think that he's off the mark, given the fact that the Communist Party is the vanguard. So the constituency that the SACP pitches its message or that it focuses on is the working class. And COSATU is the school of the working class. So I'm not quite sure if COSATU has given the Communist Party a buy-in. So that's the first point, meaning that it's not going to be easy if the SACP stands by itself without the ANC, because one of the failures of the Communist Party has been a lack of instilling class consciousness amongst the working class. So it doesn't mean that because you have a black working class on a large scale in the country, automatically they're going to vote for the Communist Party. The second point is that the ANC is a broad church. It doesn't have a binding ideology, even though what brings all of them together is the National Democratic Revolution. So the analysis by former President Mbeki is on point that if the SACP stands by itself, it will hurt the ANC. But the elephant in the room is the issue of funding. Who is going to fund the Communist Party if they contest without the ANC? I don't think that they've addressed that issue because you don't win elections only by having a good message. You have to have money. I mean, I don't expect Rupert or Oppenheimer to fund.
Right. I also want to address comments also made by the ANC's Mdumiseni Ntuli in his presentation. He does raise concern about the SACP's decision to contest elections independently as well. Do you think this marks a significant shift in the political landscape? And if so, what are the implications for the ANC's future? Of course, Ntuli is the chief whip of the party in parliament.
Look, I mean, the ANC in its document, I think strategy and tactics talks about the class that needs to benefit from the revolution, which is, in my view, I mean, they talk about the liberation of black people in general, Africans in particular. So my characterization is that that is the black working class. And now when you have the SACP standing by itself, I think it does fragment the political environment and the constituency of the ANC. I'm not trying to be funny. I think even if the ANC can stand alongside the Communist Party, I don't think that it will be above 50% in the upcoming local government elections. I think it's going to be worse without the Communist Party, because the votes that would have gone to the ANC now will be split between the SACP and the ANC. So it's going to be very, very tough. It's going to be very, very tough. Yeah, it's going to be very, very tough. It will indeed hurt the ANC in a big way.
I want us to unpack that a bit more. The SACP's decision to run in these 2026 local government elections seems to challenge the ANC's electoral unity. How do you think this will affect local government politics, particularly in regions where both parties have significant influence?
Look, I think what it means is that coalition arrangements or coalition formations will be the order of the day. Yes, I mean, it's an open secret that the hegemony of the ANC has been dealt with a blow in a big way, and that one-party dominance is a thing of the past. But we have not seen a very strong opposition party that has been able to be a political alternative to the ANC. So the hegemony of the ANC, the fact that it has broken down, has created a scope for coalition arrangements. So I anticipate a lot of power sharing arrangements at local government level. I don't think that we are going to have a party that will supersede the ANC, given the fact that it is on the back foot and it's going to be worse without the Communist Party. Because remember, under normal circumstances, the strong point of the ANC or the alliance has been the fact that they were able to marshal their forces. COSATU will mobilize the workers in the workplace. The SACP will go to poor communities. The ANC also, as a mass-based organization, will do its thing. Now you have the tripartite alliance broken down, so it won't be able to function as a unified force, or it won't be able to function as a unit.
Got you. Dr. Breakfast, the SACP has had a complex relationship with the ANC over economic policies, particularly with regards to growth, employment and redistribution, or the so-called GEAR framework. Do you think the SACP's criticisms of GEAR, but also its shift towards more independent actions, does this signal deeper ideological rifts within the alliance?
The alliance has always been a contested terrain. Remember, again, we need to grapple with this question. What brings them together? It's the National Democratic Revolution, which is a two-stage theory that there's got to be a time whereby the revolution is led by the bourgeoisie class while the working class is being made ready to take over. So the argument of the SACP has been that there are no signs that the working class is being made ready to take over. And they've broken ranks, that they are vehemently opposed to the current political arrangement on a national scale of the government of national unity. I don't know whether the straw that broke the camel's back was the fact that in the beginning there was only one minister who was coming from the SACP. Now you have two. Buti Manamela also has been brought on board. So I thought maybe that was going to cool them off. But I don't think that they are quite happy with the way things are. So yes, they've always been vehemently opposed to market fundamentalism, neoliberal policies, and influenced, policies of the left within the ANC. And some debates, they've won. Like if you look at the NHI, if you look at other anti-poverty strategies which are pro-poor, so they've not lost all the debate. It's quite interesting that when the ANC has been hurt the most, they want to walk out of the tripartite alliance. When the ANC really needs them, they want to jump ship. That beats me.
But given the SACP's recent performance in local by-elections, especially in places like Polokwane, what are the potential risks or even the rewards for the party if it does pursue a more independent electoral path in these upcoming elections?
My view is that, first of all, the Communist Party, as I indicated, the Communist Party has failed to instill class consciousness amongst the working class. It's not good enough just to have a working class you need to have, as a vanguard, a political program where you raise the levels of class consciousness amongst the working class. The Communist Party has not done that. The second point is that there are issues of funding and so on. The third point is that the membership of the SACP doesn't look good. I don't think the SACP has done very well in terms of recruiting a lot of members. I mean, if you can just pick and choose people at random and ask them, what does the party stand for? I can bet my bottom dollar very few will be able to articulate the ideological framework of the party, or the ideological framing that holds the party together. So those are some of the weaknesses of the party. So the point I'm making is that, in my view, I am not fully convinced that the party stands a good chance to do well in the upcoming local government elections. And I think they're going to walk around with an egg on their faces, in my view.
Dr. Ntsikelelo Breakfast, thank you so much for your insights into these dynamics between the ANC and SACP, particularly in light of the upcoming municipal elections. This has been invaluable as we watch this evolving political landscape.